For me, the other BS trophy in Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater was definitely the Gastronome trophy, which I originally thought was like a total combination of all the separate trophies in the other Metal Gear Solid 3s for collecting every type of plant, bird, snake and mushroom, but no, this trophy isn't the same as those, as you now have this food encyclopedia thing that needs to be 100%, and in order to fill up your food collection, you need to not only find and catch all the food, but you also need to eat all of the food types. Yet, when I was going for this trophy as part of my extreme Foxhound rank playthrough, I didn't realise, and I barely ate much of the 48 food items I was capturing, which sadly meant that I would now have to do a second playthrough of the game to mop up this trophy in order to get the platinum, which is why for me the additional requirement to eat all the food types you catch is just BS. And if another playthrough wasn't enough for you, here's a few more reasons why I think this one sucks. So, not everything out in the jungle is nice, and there are actually some plants and animals that can be harmful to Snake if he eats them, yet for the vast majority you won't actually know if it's good or bad until you eat it, as the game doesn't initially tell you. So for the odd sounding things like some of the plants and mushrooms, that can be a really risky thing to do and eat them during your extreme playthrough. Some will make Snake throw up, others will drain your stamina meter, and there was at least one that immediately put Snake to sleep, causing him to just catch some Z's in the middle of a compound. The food collection menu, while handy, isn't as useful as it could be, as it only shows question marks for the ones you're actually missing, so while you'll know the type you need, as in if it's a snake or a plant, you won't know what it's called or where in the game you can find it, so you're still going to have to cross-reference an external guide, and I just don't see the point in having it be a mystery on this screen in-game. Just tell me the name. It's just silly to hide it. Plus, I think they should have added some extra text on this screen for each item to tell you where it's seen, in what sort of locations, just to be a bit more helpful. So the main thing with the Gastronome trophy is to get this food collection menu up to 100% by finding and then eating all of the food types, but whenever you find the food, the percentage already goes up, so I don't get why they needed to make you eat it to increase the percentage further for each bit of food that you have to find and eat. It just comes across as an additional roadblock to just slow you down further and make this more of a ball ache than it needed to be. Because you see, Snake's inventory in the game is quite small, and you can only hold about 3 alive creatures in your inventory, so you're often always finding more than you need, especially when going through for this trophy as part of the extreme playthrough. So you're always going to be at this predicament of whether to eat it or just dispose of it, and plus if Snake's not hungry, it's pointless to just eat it for the sake of it, and when the game gives you a eat or dispose option when selecting your food, you're likely just going to naturally go for the dispose option to just bin it. Plus, the game and its trophy list actively encourage you not to eat some of the food anyway, and there's at least one frog with the word poison in its name, which is a blatant warning telling you not to eat this one, so you'd be stupid to just eat it yourself, right? Plus, I used that frog in the fear fight to drop a decoy food item down for him to poison himself on if he went to eat something. And then there's even a poison guard trophy where I used the poisonous snake on. It doesn't end there either, because in the Delta version of Snake Eater, you are also required to find and eat the hornet's nest, and then use a hornet's nest during the pain fight in order to obtain and then eat the super rare and super missable the Pain's hornet's nest. Now, I've beaten this game multiple times across PS2, PS3, PS Vita, PS4 and now 5, and even I didn't know this was a thing. So while it's nice to discover a new thing about an odd game that you didn't know, I mean, geez, really? Did we really have to have this in the list when it wasn't included before? Now, usually all of that would be enough for me to end it there and give it its BS trophy rating, but despite Delta making this more awkward with its new additions, on the other hand, the game has added other things to make this better than the previous version of MGS3. For starters, this is one trophy for all the food types, freeing up a bunch of other trophies to be something else a bit more creative, and this version includes a bunch of new trophies, which is probably why this one was reduced to just a single trophy. So the fact that it gives variety is a good thing. There's some other new additions that also help, as you can always see how many times you've eaten an item in your inventory menu when you select the food, and I don't think that was there in the past versions, so you've always got a better idea of which ones you can safely dispose of whenever your inventory is full and you need to free up some space. Another good new addition is New Game Plus, and the fact that this carries over across all your playthroughs regardless of difficulty and what you're doing, meaning you can even reload older saves, eat the food you had earlier in the game, and then reload your late game save and it will still have counted them all in your food collection menu. And while that doesn't sound like much, it's honestly a godsend, because it saved me playing right the way up to the end to eat the solid, liquid and solidus snakes. I could then just reload that save from the boss fight on extreme, eat them, and then start my New Game Plus and just get up to the pain fight to get that elusive hornet's nest. So that saved me a good hour or so there. So yeah, that kind of leaves me in a bit of a quandary, because at the end of the day, this is an easy trophy to unlock, provided you're following a guide for all the food locations and that you remember to actually eat each food item. But I do think the eating requirement is just unneeded, and it does just get in the way and the flow of the game. However, the save progress aspect is great, and the menu tracker is also welcome, though it be implemented better to be more useful. So yeah, for all those reasons, Metal Gear Solid Delta's Gastronome trophy is hereby awarded the title of that other BS MGS Delta trophy. So yeah, for me, this one was just annoying because it did make me play through it again. But have you played this game yet? I know it's only just come out, but if you plan on playing it, just be aware you've got to eat them as well as capture them. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!